Hello guys and welcome to another video from Albion for Solo Players channel. As I told you in my previous video, I'm making new series, where I will start fresh, from nothing, and go through how to get premium fast and establish daily passive income, so I can become something in the game. Then I will move to the end game content when I can afford losing gears, so we can put our hands on everything in the game. That's why I called this series, From Nothing, to Something, to Everything, where I will explain everything on my way. No hidden secrets at all, everything I know I will share it. So the game becomes fair to everyone. But while I was recoding this content, I found something very strange to me, and I'm sure many new players don't know about. When I killed some mobs in yellow zones, they dropped insane loot worth of 300 to 400k silver. Yes, it's very rare. But I wonder what is happening. Because I believe from my experience, drops in yellow zone wasn't like this before the new update, Lands Awakened. So I was thinking on doing run for solo dungeons in yellow zones and see if I have good loot. Of course, it's RNG, which means random number generator. So we don't know exactly what drops we will get, but we can know the average. So I went to buy the maps and checked the history of these maps. I found out that their prices in the market was increased a lot lately. So I will open 10 maps from each tier in yellow zones. I will escape flat tier 4. Because I know for sure it's not worth your time. So I will try. 10 dungeons tier 4.1. 10 dungeons tier 4.2. 5 dungeons tier 4.3 because I didn't find more in the market. 10 dungeons tier 5. 10 dungeons tier 5.1. 10 dungeons tier 5.2. 10 dungeons tier 5.3. And we will see is it worth your time. After we deduct the cost of the dungeons maps, so we will know, is this could be good money making method? And some useful notes at the end. I will write down the cost of each maps, the opening chest, and the final profit or lose at the end. Because many dungeons maps is overpriced, and some don't worth your time either. With this being said, let's jump to the results. Some useful notes. 1. Cabbage soup, most of the time is overpriced, you can use tier 7 normal fish instead. And tier 4 poison is fine to kill the bosses. 2. You can use any build to clear yellow solo dungeons, but light crossbow, spirit hunter and battle axe is the best builds to clear dungeons fast. Most of people agreed on this too. And the reason I suggested battle axe, because you can use this build later in static dungeons, which will make 500 to 1 million silver per hour in blue static dungeons. If you are lucky, you can get up to 3 million silver per hour. 3. I guess the price of tier 5 dungeons map and tier 5.1 will continue to increase. So I suggest to set some buy orders in the market, if you will use this money method. And I highly recommend new player, who is looking for the first premium, to do this 3 to 5 times every day. Then keep fishing, killing mobs or do faction heart transport. And for faction heart transport, please guys don't do this with ox, and if you don't have silver to buy a good mount, do it with ox, but always use Fort Sterling Cape, and stay away from the main road. Because if you got dismounted, you will lose half of hearts you are carrying, so again Fort Sterling Cape, stay away from the main roads, and don't use ox if you can afford better mount. For any dungeons or mobs in the open world, can drop loot 2 tiers higher, and 2 tiers lower. For example tier 5 dungeons, can drop items from tier 3 to tier 7.3. 5. If you have tier 5 build, in my opinion, tier 4 dungeons, don't worth your time at all. And dungeons maps tier 5.2 and 5.3, is overpriced. So I don't recommend them also. 6. Don't be lazy for killing mobs in the open world, when you move from dungeon to another, because you might have good loot from them. 7. When you open dungeons map, try to stay away from your city 3 zones. So the loot, fame and silver from the mobs is increased in the open world. 8. When you open dungeon maps, far away from your city, be prepared to fight some other players from other faction, that might dive your dungeon. 9. If you use tier 7 build, and have premium, I don't recommend doing tier 5 dungeons at all. Or at least this can't be your main money making method. 10. Someone might says, if tier 5.2 or 5.3 maps, is overpriced, what about open them in black zone, it have better loot? Well yes, that's true. But if you tier 7, it's better to do tier 8 dungeons, in tier 5 black zone. Tier 8 map, is cheaper and even if you got ganked, you can leave. The difference in the cost is huge and for the loot almost the same. And if you are under tier 7 build, or you are a new player, don't go to black zone. And don't listen to anyone who tells you, you should go there and do tier 5 dungeons. Because they are telling you half of the truth. If you don't have experience in the game and know the basics, don't ever try this, you will die. 11. For new players, I love the idea of investing 90k to buy 10 tier 5 dungeons and get around 1 million silver. The invest in tier 5.1 maps, of course this could be more or less, but this could be money making method for the new players. I will write in the description, the 3 builds I recommend them for start doing dungeons, in Albion Online. That's it for this video, thank you for watching. If you found this video useful, please like the video, and subscribe to the channel. Next will be the random pickups for the giveaways.